ambiguity, uncertainty, fear, the unknown. That's business. Honestly, we could actually say it's life. We don't know what we don't know. And really, the only way to figure that out is to have courage, take initiative, find a plan, and get in. And honestly, that is what your students did this week. They did not know what CAPSIM was. They did not know what a business simulation was. Quite honestly, I would argue that they might not have even known what manufacturing is, right? But this week, they've had the chance to explore, discover, and actually learn by doing, which I think is one of the most wonderful opportunities that you can have. It really delivers practical experience. The other important part is to have an understanding of what decision-making is. What does it look like? Beyond that, what are the consequences of our decisions? Right or wrong? Sometimes we fail, which we learned this week, right? That failure is okay. Why? Because we get to learn, and we get to have an experience that perhaps others don't get to have. And so when we fail, we want to fail fast, we want to fail cheap, and we want to learn throughout that entire journey. And as I learned from the students this week, there was some frustrations. And as I mentioned to them, they probably were going to use expletives with Professor Cordova and my name in the middle of it as they went through this journey. And guess what? That was okay, right? Because through that, right, persistence, patience, understanding, teamwork, connecting the dots, they found a way. They found a way. And yes, there is a winner. We're going to announce the winner at the end of all the presentations. So there was a winner of the competition this week based on year-over-year performance and then based on profit, because you can't take sales to the bank, but you can take profit to the bank. And then we're going to have them present today on what their strategy was at the beginning and what their strategy is today, because it probably changed. And honestly, we hope it did. Because through that, you make pivots, you make changes, you reflect, and then you find a way. You know, manufacturing, what's interesting is the manufacturing company that they're going to present on today is printed circuit boards. And when we think of manufacturing of printed circuit boards, Taiwan or China comes to mind. I don't hear this word very often. There was a bipartisan law passed just last year. That doesn't happen very often, but it happened. And we're actually going to start to see printed circuit boards made here in the USA. And so they actually are working on something that is relevant, that's happening not tomorrow, but today. And I think that's the exciting part. One of the other things to keep in mind is your students worked in research and development this week, marketing, operations, finance, and then there was pulling it all together, integrating the collaboration to make it happen in doing that. I want to take this time to introduce a wonderful colleague of mine. She's going to serve as a judge with me today. Professor Cordova, this week we talked about fundamentals of business. We looked at management and leadership. We just didn't send your students out into the field to make this happen. We actually built something along the way, right, in parallel. And so I want to give a nice shout out and opportunity to introduce Professor Cordova.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. My name is Denise Cordova. I serve as an assistant professor of practice for the Department of Management, and I also serve as a career coach for our almost 700 students in the Department of Management. It's been such a pleasure working with your loved ones, sharing your students with us this week. You're all amazing. You're back there. You got yourself outside of your comfort zone. And most importantly, you were able to take on challenges that you did not know how to expect and manage them at first, but you spoke up in class. You shared your vision for your future. You asked questions, and you weren't scared to show what you didn't know and learn new things. So I just want to give you all a round of applause because that's so valuable. So thank you so much. Again, that just shows your willingness to succeed and to get yourself outside your comfort zone, because you do learn from failure more than anything else. And like I told you all in class, you will learn what you do not like to do, most importantly, throughout your journey, which will guide you to what you do like to do and to find that passion within to make a difference with everything that you do. So again, thank you for sharing your students with us. It's been a complete honor, and more than anything, working with Professor Poff, our assistant department head and one of my best friends here. So thank you for including me on this.
Absolutely. So I'm going to call up team number 1 for the first presentation of the day.
My name is Cedra Roberts-Johnson. I'd like to say hello and welcome to all the family, the PIP members, and the judges, Professor Cordova and Professor Poff. We are Team Andrews, and today we will be presenting our business report. For our vision, our goal was to attract customers from a broader offering by offering customers a wider variety of products and services. Our mission was to provide premium products for the industry. Our brand will withstand the test of time.
So this is our SWOT. SWOT's an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our strengths were broad differentiation. It helped us target many different aspects and different groups of finance. Our weaknesses is, although we have 3 products, which has both pros and cons, it was difficult to control our spending on both R&D and marketing.
So since we had the opportunity to market to both low-tech, high-tech, and in the middle, we're able to use this opportunity to maximize our profit and offer 3 different products in each segment. In addition to this, we have the opportunity to utilize past reports from both ours and our competitors' savings, results, and investments to reflect on our past mistakes and grow and learn. Our biggest threat was the continuously evolving consumer preferences. We had to adapt and learn and move with our consumer demands. Our team dynamics were absolutely influential to our success. Our biggest emphasis was on collaboration. We are a diverse group of individuals from different backgrounds. We have different strengths and weaknesses, but we're able to maximize our profit and our success by utilizing our strengths and weaknesses correctly. We had a heavy emphasis on reflection and analysis. Before attempting to do any changes to every year, we first reflected on past reports and learned from our mistakes and continued to grow.
We decided to go with a broad differentiation strategy. Like I said at the beginning, we decided to offer a wide variety of products, and through the years, we introduced a new product each year. For research and development specifically, we decided, like I said, to add a product every year, while in both segments. Our goal was to offer customers product that matched their ideal criteria, so in their positioning, weight, age, and reliability. For our first product, this one was to target the low-tech spectrum. As you can see in the graphs, we gradually increased and decreased different parts of the criteria to better match and increase our profit. And then for our next product, it was art. That one targeted the high-tech spectrum. Reliability decreased, and then the age increased as well. For our last and final project, we introduced Axe. It targeted both spectrums. It increased in size and decreased in performance, decrease in reliability, and decrease in age. And as we moved on, you could see that everything slowly started shifting into the high-tech realm.
So for marketing, since we're using the broad differentiator, our goal was to actually spend aggressively, but we had to pivot a little bit into spending in increments. For marketing, we wanted to increase our spending on our promo and sales budget, as well as raise customer awareness and accessibility. For our budgeting sales, as I said, we started off here, 1,000. This is for our first product, Able. And we spent a lot the first time, but then we realized that it's better for us to spend in increments so that when we get to the capacity of customer awareness that we wanted and customer accessibility, we would kind of stop from there. But this is our budgeting and promo, and as I said, we kind of went slower, and then we spent a lot, but then we realized that it's better to spend in increments, even though we're using the broad differentiator strategy. For the price, this was really big to us because you know that if your price is not pretty high, your profit, especially when we're producing a lot of stuff, we wanted to keep the price at a good range. We didn't want to keep it $5 above our range too much, but then at the same time, we wanted to have a good price enough to make profit. So for price, we decided to go incrementally. With a broad differentiator strategy, it said it was better to price at premium, but we realized that when we went in increments, it produced better profit than we thought we would be able to produce. Here is basically data for our material costs and labor costs. So our material costs, because we've begun to better our products with R&D, we basically started spending more for Able. It kind of moved over to the high-tech industry a little bit, but basically labor costs increased incrementally. but our material costs slowly it started to decrease and be at a constant pace, which was really good for us because we didn't want to spend more money on production.
For production, our main goal was to match the amount sold to the amount we made. So to do this, we used both a combination of trial and error and mathematical calculations to find the ideal capacity and so we could maximize the amount sold to create the most profit. But throughout all this, we also made sure to match our evolving consumer demands. Usually the market trended towards higher spectrum products, which meant we had to increase the performance, increase the price, and continue growing. As you're able to see, for almost nearly every year, we were able to match the units made to the units sold, which was a great success for us. In the first practice rounds, we weren't able to do this. We were able to reflect and grow and learn from our mistakes, and we were able to match the units made to the units sold. This was our second product, art. We introduced this in the first round, and we first started seeing returns on this investment in the second round. As you can see, we started low in year 2. We continued to increase our risk, and eventually were able to maximize our profit and match our units made to our units sold. And our last product was Axe. This was targeted towards both the high and low end spectrum products to better utilize our strategy of differentiation and maximize our profits.
So for finance, we decided to finance our investments through stock investments and through cash from operations. We started our dividends at a low price and gradually increased it. And throughout the rounds, the increase got lower and lower. We were fine with having a little bit of debt, but we realized that eventually we were going to have to pay that off. These dividends are like percent that we have to give back to our stockholders. In year 1, we started with 5 cents, and we gradually increased to year 3, which was around 22 cents. In year 4, we're going to project our dividends up to 30 cents. Our net profit is our total profits minus our expenses. We increased more and more as the rounds went up. It allows our stockholders to be happy and to remain interested in our company.
There is an inverse relationship between price and the number of sales that you can forecast. So forecasting was one of the challenges that we faced, but how we came up with our forecast, we looked at the potential sales for low-tech products as well as high-tech products and multiplied those by the respective demand growth rates. And so that's how we got our forecast. And then we added those together, but we were also increasing the price every round. And so to combat that, we knocked that forecast a little bit back. And then last but not least, we ordered more than what we forecasted. So that was just to account for any other group's failures. So if other groups, for example, overproduced, we could take those extra sales. Some of the challenges we faced, first of all, to start things off, before we actually got into the competition, there was a couple practice rounds. Our team performed by far the worst in those practice rounds, and that was because we were just kind of messing around with the simulation, trying to figure things out. But that was okay, because in the end, it ended up working out for us. We kind of struggled because we didn't exactly know when to increase capacity, so we had to pivot. And so towards the end rounds, we actually had to increase the prices more, but that ended up helping us maximize profit. So our cumulative profit at the end of the simulation was just over $43 million. Our return on sales was around 12.06%. Return on equity, 28.56%. Return on assets was 22.28%. And we set the market cap at just over $143 billion. So some future considerations, as already mentioned, we want to focus on increasing capacity. And we talked about moderation a lot. So, going on into the future for the company, we want to keep on increasing in moderation, slowly pay off any necessary debts. And last but not least, just keep on increasing automation so that we can set the company up for success. Thank you so much for...
Hello everyone, good afternoon. We are Baldwin Tech Corporation. We produce high-tech sensors, state-of-the-art technology for a variety of consumers. Our mission is to ethically change the world through providing our large demographic of customers with cutting-edge sensor technologies. And our vision is to be the foundation of technological success for the world.
What is the main problem here that we started Baldwin Tech Corporation? So we think at Baldwin Tech Corporation that there's a lack of affordable and reliable sensors brought to the market by an ethical and sustainable company. We believe that as a tech company, we can bring much better sensors to the market and produce what exactly the customers need on a daily basis. So our solution to that is launching innovative sensors that are designed by the world's best engineers and scientists to make a positive impact. So we value customer satisfaction a lot, and that's our main goal and integrated in our solution very well at Baldwin Tech. Our strategy to keep customer satisfaction at our very big priority is through making our performance and size adequate for the customer, meaning that they get exactly what they ask for in the low-tech and high-tech aspects. We also maintain competitive prices with other companies, meaning that all the other companies in the market, our prices will be exactly similar or even lower than that. So the customer gets exactly what they want. We also avoid workplace burnout of employees, which is very vital in our plant utilization and our workplace as well. As if plant utilization is too high, workplace burnout is going to be very high, and we won't be able to get that efficiency we need to give back to our customers the sensors that they exactly need. And we also market the sensors to very high efficiencies, meaning that our sales promo and our budget promo are very high, meaning that our customers know exactly what they want and they get that from exactly us. The most key thing for our strategy is we never take an emergency loan. We always plan out in meetings exactly how we're going to finance this operation and exactly how we're going to provide the funding for it. So we never have to take an emergency loan from any loan shark. Our operations combined with our strategies is how we ended up being able to be a successful corporation here, ordering slightly less than our forecasts for our units, meaning that we would never be overproducing and just sitting on inventory, which is a key reason why many corporations are ending up not making as much profit as they should be. And we also calculate forecasts based on market share projections, meaning that other corporations in this room are doing the same exact things as us, so we want to be able to meet the demand with them and give the customers exactly how much they're asking for in terms of mathematical ratios and percentages. Finally, we're able to increase automation and capacity at our plants at Baldwin Tech, meaning that our automation will help reduce the employees in our plants, and our capacity for units able to produce will increase. So we'll be able to give the customer exactly what they need and keep our employees very happy, to say the least. We believe at Baldwin Tech Corporation that our #1 priority is customer satisfaction, meaning that we want to keep our customers satisfied before even we're satisfied. So we actually maintain the highest customer satisfaction in the low-tech industry over the course of 5 years. Our stock prices have continued to rise, and as looking at the graph, we can see in December 2024, when our corporation started, our stock price was $16.33, and it exponentially grew to $49.24. And that resulted in us having a 5-star rating for every single one of our years, which is crucial to our corporation's success.
Our first product, Baker, was designed to give customers the best bang for their buck. In an attempt to satisfy customers and their affordable cost needs, we designed a product with low performance and high size in an attempt to satisfy that. Our second product, Brat, was made in an attempt to provide unparalleled innovation, and we truly believe that it was the best product available to our customers.
Corporations such as Oracle, Microsoft, Google, and Apple, and we were taking in purchases in bulk, and we're going to ship them out through our distribution services. In our distribution and marketing, we have 2 models, business to business and business to consumer. We're going to be wholesaling our products to big retailers such as Amazon, Walmart, and Target. And we're also going to be selling on our website. That way we can have the direct consumer relationship. Here's our competitive advantage. This is for our low-tech product, Baker. We have the largest contribution margin at 43%. And this is attributed to our low-tech price, which is the lowest compared to all of our competitors, and our high units sold and our high customer satisfaction, making us the best competitor in the low-tech industry.
And here's our SWOT analysis. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Our strengths were that we were #1 in contribution margin. So basically we were producing our products with really good efficiency and really good results. Our customer satisfaction was also #1. So we outdid all the other companies in customer satisfaction over the course of our 5 years that we were able to do it. And also workplace sustainability. We did not overproduce our product and were able to be very efficient in that as well. And some weaknesses were production. We actually did not produce enough to meet up with the demand. Our customer satisfaction was so high that we actually had orders for a large number more products than we were able to sell and produce. And time management was also another weakness for us, and late production to our high-end technology products. And opportunities, we were able to reinvest our profits and improve our company that way. And we also introduced diverse products early and marketed products according to our production. And threat-wise, other companies that offered similar products and kind of followed the same strategies that we did, and decreased demand over time because of those strategies that those companies implemented. Team dynamics-wise, so we were great with collaborating with one another. We were very persistent. We had great team chemistry and communication throughout the project. And some challenges that we ran into were, again, time management and at introducing our high-end product late to the market. Our overall production of our low-tech product, which again, we had more orders for it than we could fulfill.
Well, currently, Baldwin is at an all-time high. As Rishi mentioned earlier, our contribution margin is all the way up to 43.4%, and our stock is $49.24, over triple what it was originally. Additionally, our sales were $82,503, with our profit being $14,190. But what would we do differently? If we could go back in time and change a few things, the biggest thing that we would adapt is our capacity and automation. Again, we did not have enough storage or ability to produce as many products as we were seeing the demand for. Also, we would take a conservative and steady approach. This way, instead of having big jumps in our profit, we would have a steady increase to readily prepare. We would also have more efficient and ready product revisions and improvements, so that way our tech would be more up to date in the coming years. Lastly, we would introduce projects to more various target of buyers, so that way everyone in the market has a product just for them. I'd like to thank my lovely team here, and thank you all for coming out today.
Today we will be presenting our CAPS in Business simulation, and we are Team 5.
Our company name was Erie, and we wanted to provide our customers with cutting-edge sensors, and we did this through various strategies.
At Erie, our mission statement was high-end products for high-end customers from a high-end company. And our vision was to produce high-quality, cutting-edge sensors to provide for our customers while also fostering long-term connections.
Some of our strengths were our collaboration, our team morale, our effective communication skills, and our problem-solving skills, and overall our supportiveness.
Some of our weaknesses were indecisiveness, time management, a lack of risk-taking, micromanaging, and managing our distractions.
Okay, some opportunities we had were analyzing our previous data, which helped us know what to do for our incoming year, and then also this helped us expand our knowledge on how to operate a business.
Some of the threats that we faced while working through the simulation were being unaware of what the strategies other teams were using and the possibility of emergency loans.
Our strategy for our first year was we only had one product, so we tried to market for both high-tech and low-tech, so we had to combine the data and find a relatively decent price so we could get the most profit while also having enough production. And we ended up controlling 20% of both high-tech and low-tech market. As you can see, Erie were the dark blue or purple. And this ended up pretty well for us. We ended up making almost $50K in sales and $2.3K in profit, and our stock price rose $3.
In our second year, we wanted to implement a new product for our high-tech customers. What was going to benefit that is that it would increase our overall share market. As you can see, we're the dark purple or light purple over there. We ended up making $62.5 thousand in sale, $6,700 in profit, which raised our stock price to $22.53.
For our year 3 strategy, we wanted to establish greater market control in our target segment, which was high-tech, and we were able to do so because of our second product being able and launched into the market. And we wanted to continue building on the foundation we established in the previous rounds. Operations, we did a $7,600 investment in our factory, so we increased automation and capacity, which lowered our labor costs, which basically increased our profits. We also invested $2,100 in our promo budget, which was the highest out of any group, which increased our accessibility, and that led to, as you can see, an almost 25% market share of the high-tech segment. And here are some statistics for our year 3. We did just under $100K in sales and a profit of about $12.7K, and as you can see, our stock price rose by $17 to $40.
From this upward trend, we were feeling confident. Our strategy for this round was just to tweak our upcoming products just a bit to make sure that we could increase our profits for the next year. So we updated the performance and size for our sensor EAT. We did not change anything for egg because it sold so well in the previous years. We increased the price of egg because of its good results from the previous years. We expanded our production by maxing it out for both egg and EAT, and we issued dividends in order to increase our stock prices, and again, we were targeting high-tech customers. However, this whole time we were in fact making less profit because of the fact that we increased the price and we didn't change any of the performance or size for egg. And because of this, we made $90K in sales and $6.7K in profit. Stock market price increased to 22.53 cents because we were able to increase our dividend. So this is an analysis of our overall business cap sum.
Well, thankfully, we didn't have any emergency loans through year 1 and 4. Our sales were great until we hit year 4. We unfortunately did not continue the upward trend. Same thing for profit and stock price, but our contribution margin remained the same, just in an upward trend.
Final overview, here are some graphs from round 1 to round 3. As you can see, we are the line that's kind of light blue with the triangle. We started off in the bottom half of the industry for both profit and total sales, but as you can see, we rose almost to the top for profit and sales. And as you see the closing stock price, we were basically at the top, $40, and that just goes to show it's an indicator of how well we are doing against our competition. Possibilities. For the future, we want to invest more in our R&D and to increase our factory production and capacity. We also want to increase our customer satisfaction, and we want to increase our stock value by investing more in our factory, as I said, and to increase our dividends.
Some challenges we had were that we had limited knowledge of the software since we've never used Capsum before. And then also we had a hard time knowing how to increase our profit and sales. And then overall just our time management.
And then some of our issues we had were not releasing our product till an extra year when most companies released it earlier. And we also had a problem with pricing because we didn't want to do too high or too low because we were trying to be in the middle for day 1 or from year 1. And then also making sure our contribution margin increased throughout the years.
Some of our results, we were able to sell out all our products from years 1 through 3. We made a significant increase in our sales and profit over time. We increased our stocks through factory investments, making sure we're not overworking our employees. And then we also got a more in-depth knowledge of the Capsum software. And from our 4th year, we want to use that as a learning curve to improve our business in the future.
So what is an overall reflection of what we did in this simulation? So at first, our team had some trouble making decisions. We didn't really know what Capsum was, so we had to sort of figure that out along the way. But as we gained more experience, we really succeeded in creating a cross-functional strategy, a successful cross-functional strategy, and increasing our team dynamic.
So thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to us.
My name is Apsi Ephraim. I'm a junior here at Virginia Tech, and I'm studying cybersecurity. And it has been such a pleasure and privilege to be one of the 6 amazing peer mentors, and just helping guide and shape your lovely children as they've grown throughout this experience. It's been a fun and eventful 10 days, and I'm just so honored to be here. So thank you so much. I'm just going to take a few moments to highlight our keynote speaker, Crystal McCants. So Crystal is a 2003 Virginia Tech graduate with a degree in accounting and information systems. She was licensed as a certified public accountant in 2008. Crystal joined her current firm, YHB, as a principal in 2020. She has 20 years of public accounting experience working with and advising high net worth individuals, trusts, and closely held businesses. Since joining the industry, Crystal has held several leadership roles in the Virginia Society of CPAs. Currently, she serves as the vice chair of the board of directors and previously served as the chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Council. She is also currently serving as a member of the Pamplin Advisory Council. In 2023, Crystal was honored to be named one of the Washington, D.C. metro area's top CPAs by Washington Magazine for the 7th time, and was also voted as a top financial professional by Northern Virginia Magazine for the 2nd time. Crystal currently resides in Ashburn, Virginia with her husband, Damien. They are avid cruisers and even more avid Hokie fans. Without further ado, if you all could please join me in a warm welcoming for our keynote speaker, Crystal.
Hello, everybody. This has been so impressive. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you, Dean Hall, for the invitation. I have admired Dean Hall since I first heard her speak at an alumni event several years ago, and I am honored that she chose me to speak with you today. I think the work that the DEIB office is doing for students, both current and future, for Pamplin and Virginia Tech at large is so very important. Like this academy, what a wonderful experience you all had to get to learn about the different business career options that you may have and discover what your passion might be. When Dean Hall first reached out to me, my first thought was what a great opportunity to be able to speak with the students and help guide them in their next steps. After all, every time I see her, or nearly every time I see her, I tell her my passion is around students, helping them be successful and find their way through college, and seeing them graduate, preferably as a Hokie, of course. My immediate next thought was, what have I gotten myself into? What do I have to share with high school students about what I have done in my career and getting through school? So I took a step back and I said, what would I have wanted to know if I was a high school student and I had just participated in this program? Well, it was actually a really tough question because I did a little research just to get a point of reference. Google was actually created when I was a rising senior. I was still using a pager and a payphone, which I'm not even sure you guys have seen. So I think I was in a totally different place than you are, just because of information and technology. So now it seems like a good chance to tell you about who I was at the time to give you some perspective. So I was Crystal Hill. I was 17 years old. It was 1998. I was a rising senior. I was my parents' only child left at home, and they were encouraging me to go to school. And by encouraging, they were basically telling me I was going to go to college. Both of my parents, Bill and Shirley Hill, were college graduates, and to them, that was really the only way to be successful. They reminded me often that as a minority female, I was going to have to work a little harder, and my peers might have it a little easier, but it would be worth it in the end. To have the life that they envisioned for me and the life that I envisioned for myself, college was really the only option. My father was a treasurer of my church, and he was retired military. My mother was a financial analyst by degree, and she worked in an accounting department. So needless to say, numbers came easily to me. I took accounting in high school, and it seemed pretty simple. Income, expenses, debits, credits. It was easy. It was kind of boring. And then I was also the definition of a daddy's girl. So wherever he was, I was. I was taking things apart and putting them together, and I thought it was really interesting how things worked. So when my parents said, what are you going to do when you go to school? I was like, well, I'll study engineering. Accounting's easy. It's boring. Engineering is the quintessential take things apart, put it back together better than you found it career, and I'm going to do that. So that's enough about me for now. Let's bring this to where you are today. You just spent 10 days, right, learning about different career paths that you might be interested in. And at some point over the last week, I hope there was a moment for you where something was interesting, lit a fire in your mind, built a curiosity about what more might be out there. Can any of you just yell out for me one thing that you're interested in after this academy? Go. There you go, fintech. That is like the new thing. I love it. So these things and more that you named are the beginning of figuring out what's important to you and how you want to spend the days of your adult life. And the thing to remember is in your adult life, you go to work for 5 days a week, hopefully 8 hours a day, depending on your career, could be longer than that, for the next 40 to 50 years. Just let that settle for a minute. You heard me right. Full Social Security age is 70, which is almost 50 years after graduation. I'm a numbers person. I ended up in accounting. So sorry to any of the parents who are counting down your years full Social Security and you're about to send a child to college. So back to the reason why I'm here. What's worked for me over the last 20 years? And I'm halfway. I'm really excited about that. But seriously, though, I did give a lot of thought to what has helped me achieve success. And the obvious things for me, which are, they're going to be different for everyone, but my faith, my family is amazing. They're the best cheerleaders ever, and my friends. Outside of those things, you have to find ways within yourself to keep moving forward. And there are 3 things that I think have helped me at every transition in my life. It's being prepared, being patient, and being flexible. This academy, this very moment, what you just experienced is some of the best preparation you could have gotten to get ready for college. Right now, it probably feels like an interruption of your summer to go to a college, the huge project, spend time learning about all that business school has to offer. But I guarantee you 10 years from now, you're going to tell someone about this and something you took away from it that made a difference in your life. So back to high school me. I did all of the preparation at the coaxing and needling of my parents. I applied to many schools. I got into some of them. I applied for every scholarship I could because I was an out-of-state student. At almost every school I applied to, I would have been out of state. And I eventually participated in any program my parents deemed necessary preparation. And as a part of that, I attended a program here for 5 weeks before my freshman year in the engineering program, actually. And initially, I was afraid to leave home. I didn't want to leave my friends. It was summer. It just kind of felt a little overwhelming. But that program was hands down one of the best experiences I ever had at Virginia Tech. I was able to take classes, I found the dining hall, I learned the campus, and I made friends. So when school started, I was leaps and bounds ahead of the other students. And all of that was because I was prepared. I like to think of preparation as a foundation to build upon. Funny, I think my parents told me that many times and I didn't want to hear it, but as I prepared this speech, I realized how true that is. I find that whenever I go into something without being prepared, I flounder. My anxiety gets the best of me and I make decisions I wouldn't have ordinarily made. And I mean that from a client meeting all the way to babysitting our 5-year-old goddaughter, which we did last week. We were not prepared. So we sat on the couch and we said, what do you want to do? And of course, she wanted to go to the zoo, she wanted ice cream. We did everything she wanted to do. She took us for everything we had. So we know we can't go in with her unprepared because we can't say no. So that was a fail on my part. Another example that's probably more relatable is like baking. It's something I like to do. And whenever I do it at the spur of the moment, I'm always missing something. I'm short an egg, my flour's expired. You get the idea. Ben Franklin coined the phrase that by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. I think that is true, and what I hear in that is that preparation is very important. And to me, it has been one of the keys to success. So what is your plan? What does 5 years look like for you? 10 years, 20 years? Do I sound like your parents? You just tuned me right out. All of these things, these questions, these ideas are preparing you to go into the next phase of your life, ready for what lies ahead. At least to have a foundation, a starting point is the first step. I mentioned earlier that for me, patience is also a critical part of my success. Patience, by definition, means the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. So let me bring that closer to home. That means you may not get into your first choice school. Your plan may change as a result of something out of your control, or you may not get the yes that you want. It might be not right now, and in more cases than you're comfortable with, it's probably going to be no. And don't get me wrong, I work on my patience every single day, just ask my husband. But we live in a fast-moving environment where information is coming at you all the time, and there's pressure to make decisions quickly, to think fast, move fast, work fast. I would argue that we need to stop, take a breath, and wait. Be more patient. Everything I have ever done has taken longer than I expected it to. As I mentioned, I started in engineering because I wanted a challenge, and at the time I truly believed that accounting was boring. Midway through my second year, I realized that I enjoyed absolutely nothing about engineering. I did enjoy calculus, but that was about it. So I decided to change majors. I walked into the office of the Dean of Accounting and I said, I want to be in your program. And he said, why? We had a long conversation, which I won't forget. And at the end, he said, not right now. His explanation was, this is one of the best programs out there, and I need to know that you're serious and you're ready to do the work. I was shocked, to say the least. So at this point, I'm not in, nor do I want to be in engineering. I'm not in accounting, which I want to be in. I'm just here, proving to Virginia Tech and myself that I have what it takes and I'm willing to do the work. I was eventually admitted to the program and found out that accounting is actually not easy. However, I was interested in what I was learning and what I would be able to do with it, and it clicked for me. But like I said earlier, being patient is a work in process. I have come up against many things that have tested my patience, which I was sharing with these young ladies earlier. My husband and I started dating here, and I was ready to graduate, have 2.5 kids, get married, all as soon as we left. He waited 6 years to propose, which is okay because it was still worth it in the end. I was studying for the CPA exam. I was still trying to party like I was in college and do that at the same time. It took me 5 tries to pass that test, which I would add is because I wasn't properly preparing. But of course, it was worth it in the end. I wanted to make partner, and when I made that decision, I thought, it's going to happen right now. Nope. That took 10 years too, and that wait was also worth it. And I think in the wait, there's a lot of preparation and there's a lot of growth. And I don't say any of this to discourage you, but rather encourage you to stay the course. Your next step is choosing a college and applying to that college. And you may not get in, and that's actually okay. As I've gotten older, I appreciate that the thing I wanted doesn't always work out on the first try. In most cases, that means it either wasn't for me or something better came around the bend. So now you've gotten an idea of who I am. I'm a planner, type A. I'm literally the definition of what you have in your mind as an accountant. Being flexible, as I mentioned earlier, has contributed to my success. I changed majors midstream. I also changed companies when it was daunting. I've not told you much about my adult life, but to round out my story, I graduated and went to a small firm that I absolutely loved. They didn't have the growth potential that I felt I needed, so I decided to switch to another firm that seemed to have more opportunity. After 10 years with that firm, I made the tough decision that even though I was close, or at least I thought I was close to making partner, I would take a step back and move to my current firm. Even though I knew it would take me a while to work my way back to being at the partner level, I wanted to find more balance for myself and my husband and find a place where I truly fit. During the interview process, I tricked them. I impressed enough of them that they offered me a partner role at the time. My point here is you have to have a willingness to adapt when obstacles or opportunities come into your path. We all have laid out what that perfect vision looks like. And let's just call it what it is. That's not how life works. I'm sure in a lot of ways, life doesn't work out the way that we want to protect us from ourselves. You will experience obstacles at different points, and if you haven't, just keep on living. That's another phrase from my parents. And I officially feel old, but it's good advice, and I think it's something to hold on to. The vision that I had for myself was to be a great wife, a very present mother, and a CPA. The beauty of public accounting is that it would have allowed me to have the flexibility to do just that. As time passed, we found that being parents wasn't the gift that we were being given. And while it was heartbreaking, I had to pivot. I had to redefine what my vision for success looked like, from a really great soccer mom to a partner in a CPA firm. I rewrote my plan for my next chapter, and I set my sights on my future. My life now is pretty beautiful. It's more than I ever could have dreamed it would be. I'm married to my very best friend, and I found a firm that feels like family, and I was honored to be their first Black female partner. The point of all of this is, anything is possible. Dream big and chase it. You have a 4-year period to set yourself up for the next 40 to 50 years of success. So what does that success look like to you right now? But be prepared because it's likely to change. So I say chart your plan, take your first steps, and wait for the answers. Then go find yourself a real good eraser because you're going to rewrite your plan, but then go live your dreams. It's up to you. And thanks to the PIP Academy, I think you've all gotten a great foundation. Thank you for having me.
And on behalf of the Pamplin College of Business, we wanted to give a small token of our appreciation. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for lending us your children. I know that that's not an easy ask to just entrust some strangers on a college campus with your underage kids for 10 days. But we appreciate the fact that you're willing to make that sacrifice of driving here, flying here, doing all of the things to make sure your students got the opportunity to embrace this wonderful academy experience. I want to take a moment to also recognize our amazing peer mentors. Peer mentors, if you guys can stand. We saw them on the slideshow, but they have been pivotal to this experience and making sure that not only were we meeting your students' needs as it related to leadership and mentorship through the team project, through the days that we were being exposed to different majors, but also being my right and left hands in navigating this so that I didn't have to be in 50 places at once all the time. So if we can give them a round of applause. I promised you all that while they were with me, they would be my babies. That doesn't change just because they go home with you. Following this, throughout this week, I've been able to have one-on-one consultations on admissions with each and every student to go over their academic record, to look at what our proposed elements of the application will be as we approach the application cycle this coming fall. Every student that have participated in PIP will receive an application waiver, so they will not have to pay for the application to Virginia Tech. So we're very excited to extend that as well. There's also the potential to participate in an early admissions decision. We're still waiting to hear if that is something that we'll be able to proceed with recent changes in higher education. So TBD on that, but we're hoping to give them as many avenues for support and resources to get through the admissions process. That includes that I am willing to meet with them one-on-one to review their essays. I am a Virginia Tech essay reader, so I'm happy to give them feedback on their essays as well as the rest of their application, because ultimately, all of my students were committing to applying to Virginia Tech, right? Okay. Most of us are committing to applying to the Pamplin College of Business. Yes, okay. So part of that is, of course, I want our students to be as prepared and as competitive as possible. So making sure that that application is complete and has as many of the markers that we're looking for. Each application will be tagged as being a PIP participant. So there will be some special considerations that we're able to extend to our students through the application cycle in terms of early, potential early reviews, but then also some additional support at the admissions, waitlisted, deferred levels as well. So my goal is to be here as in service support throughout the next year that we're engaging as students all the way through when they join us this fall, because you guys are all going to join us this coming fall, 2024. I just want to bring attention to how incredibly accomplished and brilliant, quite frankly, this particular group was this year. They really, I can count them as one of the most academically gifted students I have ever worked with. Our average GPA for admitted students at Virginia Tech is about 4.02 on a weighted scale. The average GPA for the students that were enrolled in this academy, which I'm very proud to have hand selected, was 4.06. So these are students that not only meet a lot of our admissibility criteria. We can't guarantee admission, but at least I can tell you that we're going to make the best case possible for these students to become Virginia Tech Hokies this coming fall. But they are simply as hardworking, as dedicated to their interests, to what I hope is going to be a passion in business. And I'm so, so thankful that I got to have this experience with them and look forward to continually embracing and hopefully developing their growth throughout their collegiate career. I leave you with a small excerpt from F. Scott Fitzgerald. For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. I'm so happy to be able to count on you all as students that are willing to try, are willing to fail, and start again.
In conclusion, just want to take time to recognize our sponsors. Again, CAPSIM, the business simulation and assessment technology firm that provided the team project simulation. Thank you again to Bob McDonald for all of your support. Ron Poff, Professor Poff and the Poff family, yes! Thank you for their continued support and sponsorship. They are actually committed. He's a professor and assistant department chair of management, but he's also a sponsor of the PIP Academy. So we just want to thank you so much for all of your support. And all of our university partners, our Pamplin faculty and staff, and again, a special kudos to Professor Cordova and Poff for leading the project and presentations. Now we have come to the conclusion, I know, of our PIP Academy luncheon. Yes, it's going to be time to say our goodbyes. I want to thank all of you participants, parents, and guardians, and all of your friends for all of your support. The future of the PIP Academy is very, very bright. So if you know of members of your company or of your community who'd like to get involved with the PIP Academy or our broader DEIB efforts, please let us know. Our goal is to really continue to provide opportunities like this to recruit more sponsors, to expand our program, and we'd love to keep this program at no cost. Okay, we know how finances can be a barrier for our students, so no cost it is. Now, students, we want to hear from you. Okay, if there's anything, and I mean anything, we can do to support you moving forward, whether you choose Pamplin, and I know you're gonna pick Pamplin, right? Why pick Pamplin? But if you decide not to choose Pamplin, if there's anything we can do to support you, we are here for you in your future. This program is really about making societal impact, okay? And I know I see some CEOs, CFOs, heads of big firms in this room, okay? And if there's anything we can do to help you along the way, please let us know. We want to stay in touch with you wherever you go, so please keep us updated as well.